What's up, everyone? It is me, Andre, again. Welcome to Pralez Nitra. This is my hometown, by the way. I might give you more backstory as we go through the boulders. This was my second session in Pralez since I got back to Slovakia. First session, I just did all the 5-level boulders, so V2 and below, because I wasn't feeling that great. So this session I decided to go through all the 6A's and 6B's, which should be V3s and V4s according to the conversion chart, if I'm not mistaken. I did warm up, like stretch a little bit, do the usual thing at home. So I just came to the gym and I didn't climb anything else. I went straight into the 6A's, and because of that, I definitely wanted to not go like from one side of the gym to the other side and just take all the boulders as they were set, but I try to pick them based on the difficulty. And I already missed it, but the but the very first 6A that I did, it was pretty juggy, but there was one hole that was pretty bad. But my big span saved me once again. Anyway, I'll try to focus more on the boulders. This one was pretty good. This is kind of like a corner section in the gym. The gym doesn't have that many interesting walls. And it's mostly like some slight overhang, mostly verticals and some slabby parts. So nothing like a cave or arch or anything like that. But I did like this gym when I climbed here before. This one, you can see I have a big, how do you call it, split stem. I'm not sure if I climbed this in the most optimal way, but yeah. This is a 6A that I decided to put into shorts or reels. I think this one is the one that I like the most. It has these kind of like skinnier pinches, but you don't need to use them that much because the wall is in your favor. The only part that I kind of was challenged with this part, because you're leaning to the left side, so you're in a very swingy position. Even here, grabbing the crimp. Now when I moved to the right side, my body, it felt a little bit more stable, but still, even to make this cross, I had to palm the big ball. So I'm not sure if I climbed it again the best way, but it was the most, let's say, challenging one. This one was nice. I like this section. It's kind of slabby a little bit. It felt slabby, although as you go higher, it's slight overhang, if I'm not mistaken. I don't like this skinny pinchy big holes, but here you get to use the side of the wall, which is super nice and kind of grippy, and then just go into the top. What do we have next one? Next one is this green one. On the right side you can see the most overhang area in the gym. I'm not sure how many degrees it is. So here you're kind of climbing. I think it's like a vertical or slight slab on the left side, but then you have the overhang section on the right side. The holes were here again. You have to like, the holes are not the initial wormy holes are not the best ones. So I think I was scared of holding of this one, the second to last worm, but I managed to do it and not fall off. But I don't think it's that super easy. This one has some 2 pockets and some pinches. Well, not pinches, I guess kind of crimp. You can pinch them. I think I climbed this pretty nicely, and it didn't hurt me that much. My fingers, back flag, skinny pinch, and yeah, mostly relying on the feet because I don't think I could hold myself just on the holds. This one, again, I think we're getting to the end of the 6As. I left this one for later because these are slopers, kind of like a compression slopers. So here, if you like missed the right sloper, you obviously fall off, bumping the compression. And here, this hole, I didn't know what to do next after this one, like where to put my feet so that I don't swing, because my right foot was so low. I didn't know if I should like heel hook something, but I tried to grab this one and I was barely able to grab it. That helped me get my right foot up and then just go straight into the top. What is this one? This one, I didn't have the read on it initially because I thought that you might have to go to the left side, but then I was probably just, okay, it's probably like a mini dyno where you have to go up, and these holes are pretty much jogs, so it's not a big issue. My foot slipped a little bit, so not the perfect execution. This one I left for as the last 6A boulder. I thought it's gonna be that one. Again, you have those skinny pinches here. Here, the sloper first part. While I was holding it, I tried to remember to engage the scapula, and I think that helped a little bit. And here, once I got my left leg up, it wasn't that bad as I thought it would be. And then suddenly I was just at the top. So this is the 6A that I kind of forgot about. I missed it initially, so I did it towards the end, but in the editing I put it here, so you have all the 6As together. It wasn't that bad. The first jump start holds were pretty good. And these are the 6Bs. Again, same idea. I decided to tackle them based on what I thought it was the difficulty. This one looked pretty straightforward, just some crimpy holds. But I guess my fingers were already warm. This was a little bit the sketchy position with the feet, but I try to focus on pressing with the feet, and yeah, it wasn't that bad. Next one, right next to it, we have this first dyno where you have to run the volume. I did commit. I'm not sure about the ending of the dyno, but whatever. And the rest is just jogs. What do we have here? This one again felt like, you can see the yellow one. I started at the bottom. The holds in the rest of the boulder are pretty janky. I guess the crux for me was to start. As you can see, I didn't know how to start. I had something in my head like how to start it, which I try now. I fall down, so it's not a flash, but then I made it work for the second time. I don't think this is the most optimal way, but anyway, it worked. And here, because I'm feeling confident with my guppy hole technique, well, it's not a technique, I just practice a lot at boulder space, so the rest of the boulder was pretty good. Here, I think you're probably supposed to go with the right into the crimp, but I have the reach, so I could just bump into the top hold. This one was interesting. It's the corner section, so you're climbing between the two walls, trying to stay in the corner. I think this is the one where shorter people probably have some advantage, as you can fit into the corner, into the box. So I try to keep my hips into the wall. And that worked. Next one, this one was one of the easier ones, at least for me. I did a heel hook just to get the first crimp, then just big step up, lean to the left side to pull from the left side. And here's just a little bit of a gassing, but you're standing in pretty good volumes. The worst part was getting to the top, because where my left leg is right now, I didn't trust it. So I first used the other hold and then just match the top. This one is the most overhang section. I tried to do it earlier because I was fearing it, but the holds are pretty decent, kind of like juggy crimps. And obviously I focused on my legs to stay in the wall, and it wasn't that bad. The part where I was struggling was here, but once again I managed to bump up because my left hand was holding a jug pretty much, so that worked. This one is kind of like positions where you have to follow the holds, and otherwise they're not super slopey, something like between slopers and jugs, I think, so not a big issue. This one, 6B, this one was interesting. I think this is the one where we're going to stay a little bit because once again I didn't flash it, but I made some quick adjustments as you're gonna be able to see. First of all, I didn't know how to start it, if I should be on the left side of it, kind of like undercling it, but then I decided to go on the right side like this. So I made this work and I managed to grab this one. I think this was a lot about tension here. I'm trying to see if I can get something out of the foothold, but nothing. So I shift my weight, and I wasn't sure, I didn't read the boulder properly before, so I wasn't sure if there is any hold below, because you don't see under that because that right hold is pretty big. So I'm trying to see if I can reach the volume with my feet. Now I'm looking to see if there's anything. So I was able to reach that, but didn't give me much stability. So I'm trying to put my foot up again, and finally it worked. So I think from this moment it felt like I'm finally a bit stable, especially now that I grabbed this best hold on the boulder. But here we are once again in a tricky situation, because I noticed those footholds that you see where my knee is, and then the one on the right side of my head right now. So I thought that you're supposed to kind of like stand up using those things and stand up into maybe press of the top hold. But from this position, I had no idea how to get my feet higher. It felt pretty risky. So I think in the end I decided to just go for it, and somehow that worked. I was able to stick the top hold. This one felt looked pretty okay. I think the crux was the start position, because you're holding the start holds are not that best. They're kind of like sloped. The crimps are pretty good. The only thing is this one, the second to last hold, wasn't that best. So here, going to the top, I decided to bump my right because I didn't feel like I could hold the weight on the right hand, and that worked. Next one is 6B. This one I totally messed up. I still flashed it, but in a not easy way, because I didn't use the big gray volume that you see there. I only use it now. So I think I could have used it earlier, and not having to hold that swing on that crimp. Here, for some reason, I try to just, I think initially when I read it from the bottom, I thought that you have to like heel hook that left rail, but it wasn't necessary at all. This one was a very interesting boulder. The one where you see initially I adjusted my left leg because I knew I'm going to have to foot swap. So I try to place the foot on the left side of the hold because it's pretty big. So you have space for both feet, as you can see here. And here you have to do some mini commitment into this hold, which I did, and then it swung me in an unexpected way, but it worked. This one is also like interesting one, 6B orange with these balls. This first move was very nice. You have this little thing here. I think the wall here is mostly vertical, and as you go higher it gets slightly overhang. So here I again went with 2 arms because I wasn't sure if I can hold it with just one. And the balls didn't feel that bad. They felt pretty grippy for me. And also going to the top, I thought it might be sketchier, but the left leg high up there helped a lot. What is this one? This one is another one that I forgot about. I think the crux is definitely going here into the sloper on the right side. I didn't know how to commit, if I have to go with both arms, but fortunately I have my spans, so I was able to grab it just with right arm, and the rest of the boulder is pretty simple. So that was that one. What do we have here? Next one, another one where I had to, where I was panicking a little bit. First part were pretty fine. Here maybe this little foot on that was a bit sketchy, but nothing bad. Here you do mantle, which felt pretty good because the volume has a lot of surface area, but here you have nothing to grab onto. And the edge of the wall where I'm looking at is not that grippy. I didn't have much confidence in it. And I was looking and I'm asking the guys to tell me if there's another hole, because I know there was one, and you can see it's there is one on the right side where my hand is, but I think it's too far, which is what the guy told me. So I think I had to figure it out how to reach that higher hold. Yeah, now he's telling me that there's another hole, but yeah, it's a bit far, and I think it's probably just for your feet. So then I found the drop knee, which helped a little bit, and I was able to grab it. But I think I had some assistance because my, how do you call it, forearm was slightly touching the black holes underneath it. But anyway, I'll take it. So that was 6B. What do we have here? Next one. This one was also interesting. The holes are not angled in the nicest way. So I think I had a pretty good read on the start. I just didn't commit because you have to keep pressure on that volume with your right foot, and then approach it from the left side. And here you can see with my left hand I'm palming to get my foot into the next volume. And from here it was pretty okay, but my fingers were pretty tired once I grabbed this one. I was lucky here that I had some space on the volume triangle for my left foot. And here my fingers were kind of like giving up. But fortunately, I had to rely on my left hand now to go into the top. And my left hand was feeling pretty okay. It was the right one that suffered throughout the boulder. This one I left almost towards the end because I thought it would be way worse than it was, because it's pretty much just crimpy stuff. And like, for example, the first crimp that I was holding felt pretty bad from the ground, but once I started climbing, it felt much better. So I did definitely try to focus on keeping my hips in the wall, and that was that one. This is the last one that I didn't try as the last one, but it's the one that I put towards the end because it's the one where I really had to work on the beta. It's the one where I dropped multiple times. So this is the first go, and yeah, I had no no read on what to do after this point. Like, how do you get up? What are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to somehow stand on the sketchy volumes? Because the two holds that are on the top before you reach the top hold, the angles of those holds are not definitely not ideal. They're like in weird positions. So, you know, like you can pull from the left side and from higher up, but you're on the low side. You're still on the left side, so you can still get something out of it. But yeah, compared to all the other 6Bs, this one felt a bit harder. Yeah, then I tried to like foot swap and I fell down. So trying to see if this position is intended, because then maybe you can press with your left hand and stand up, but the right foot that is next to the starting position, starting hold, that one felt a little bit sketchy, so I wasn't sure. Here I'm trying to see if maybe you're supposed to somehow approach it from the top, from higher position, but no. Here I'm trying to see if I can... Okay, what am I trying to do? Yeah, press on the volume. It kind of helped me. I was able to get a little bit higher, but then I didn't like it. Here I'm trying to see if by any chance you can press into the volume, but no. And then I tried this thing. Okay, maybe not. Okay, now I try. The foothold that was there, and I didn't use it before because I didn't know what's the purpose of it. But then I thought that, okay, maybe you have to use it to get higher, and second attempt I was able to stand in this position. It was the first time. And now I'm trying to see, okay, I did some progress. But I think I didn't trust standing on the volume, or like I didn't know how to move after that. So we're in the same position now. I'm going to try to bring my left leg in, and then I switch my left hand to the palm. And we are in this position. From here, from the camera, it looks like it's so close, but it really felt so sketchy in that position. So I bailed and I grabbed the other ones, but I went immediately back to see if I can just simply reach it. And ta-da! Yes, I can. So I had all the pieces in place, so I rested like 5 minutes. This was really at the end of my session after I did all the other boulders. I'm not sure how many there were, like 30 plus or something. So I was hoping that I'm gonna be able to execute. And here you get only something out of the right hand, but most of it is on the left hand. Here to switch into palm, feet higher. And here when I grabbed the top hold with my right hand, my wrist started to hurt a little bit. So I wasn't sure if I'm gonna be able to match. But I did. Thanks for watching.